What's up, my awesome YouTubers? Ryan1988 or Justin back here to do a video for you all, and today I'm here to talk about 5 obscure and almost forgotten slasher movies from the 80s and the 90s. I will be doing a whole bunch of videos like this because there are so many great, not just slasher movies, but horror movies out there that are pretty obscure. You might have heard of them. You might have seen them maybe once. But in general, a lot of these movies that I want to discuss in this series of videos are movies that when I hear people talk about slasher movies these days, these movies don't get enough love. And I think these are movies you should definitely check out if you've never seen them. And maybe it's been a long time since you've watched them. And I highly recommend going back and checking these movies out. So without a doubt, I'm going to talk about probably the more popular of the 5 movies. And that is Happy Birthday to Me. But still, when we talk about 80s horror movies and the slasher movie subgenre in the 80s, Happy Birthday to Me kind of falls under the radar a little bit. It came out during the golden age of the slasher, so between 1980 and 84. I believe this is 81 or 82. I first saw this movie back in 07. It was the first time I ever watched it. Heard about it prior to seeing it, because I remember one time watching, this thing on VH1. They were talking about 80s child stars, and Melissa Sue Anderson was one of them. And she talked about how, after leaving Little House on the Prairie, she wanted to do something different, and that was Happy Birthday to Me. She plays Jenny, who is about ready to celebrate her birthday. I believe it's her 16th birthday or 18th. And she has invited her friends to her party. But one by one, her friends start being killed off and start disappearing one by one. And it all leads up to what I consider a great climax to the movie, which I don't want to give away, but I love the ending. I love this slasher movie. Again, not completely forgotten, but it's not one that when I'm watching other YouTubers talk about horror movies, that is brought up a lot. And I think Happy Birthday to Me definitely needs a revisit, and for people, if they have only seen it once, maybe years ago, or if you've never seen it, go and watch it. Pick up the Blu-ray. There's several of them out there. My favorite one is the Indicator release, but I also love the Kino one, which I also have as well, which has a great interview with one of the stars from Happy Birthday to Me. What I love about this is that you get 2 versions of the movie. You get the original theatrical cut with the original opening soundtrack, and then you get one that when I first bought Happy Birthday to Me, they had changed the music, and it's not a lot of people's favorite thing. They don't really like the change of music. The first time I saw this movie was with the change of music, and while I appreciate and I love the original soundtrack and the original music, I also love the upbeat 80s, opening song in the movie. So this release has both that one and it has the original theatrical release, and it looks fantastic on Blu-ray. So definitely pick up Happy Birthday to Me. I also think that this movie could even deserve a better treatment. Again, love the Kino release. I love the fact that we did get an interview, but this movie deserves some really great bonus features. And so maybe one day we'll get a 4K release with a whole bunch of bonus features. Until then, Happy Birthday to Me. Definitely check that one out. Up next, we have another 80s horror movie with an upcoming star at the time, and that is He Knows You're Alone. Again, when we're talking, horror movies in the community, I don't hear a lot of people talk about He Knows You're Alone. I don't know if many people have seen this movie. I love this film. It is about a upcoming bride. She's getting married. It's supposed to be the time of her life, and there's a killer going around who winds up stalking our main actress in this movie, and stalking her friends. And he has a history of killing another bride, and so he goes after her, and he goes after her friends. What I love about this movie, a couple things. I love the opening. I think it has one of the best slasher movie openings of any of them from the 80s. Absolutely love it. It takes place in a theater. I don't want to give too much away, but I just think it's great. I also love the fact that we have a early performance from Tom Hanks, and he does a pretty good job in this. I think he does a great job in this. And when you watch this movie, you could just know that like Tom Hanks is going to grow up or move on and do amazing things. And I just love him in this. I love Tom Hanks in general. Love him in this. I think he's great for the part that he has. I think this is an eerie slasher movie. There's definitely some moments that are pretty creepy and effective. There's one scene, which I won't give too much away, where there's a character and she's in a bed and she's terrified because one, the power's out. And two, she starts hearing noises from outside the room, and you could tell that she's just getting creeped out as the noises get closer and closer. And that is one of the most eeriest scenes I've seen in a slasher movie and in this movie. So I love He Knows You're Alone. Again, if you've never seen it, check it out. I feel like not many people have seen this movie. If you appreciate the 80s slasher movies, this is one to check out. It's also a great movie to watch when it's starting to get chilly outside, maybe sweater weather, and pop this movie in. So He Knows You're Alone. Absolutely love it. Another one from the 80s. This came out in 1988 or 89, somewhere around there. And it, has gay undertones in it. I love that. I love a good gay slasher movie. But there's a lot more to it. The movie I'm talking about is Hide and Go Shriek. And if you know what I'm talking about as far as the gay undertones go, or just it being a gay slasher movie, I don't want to give too much away, but it's definitely there. As far as the movie goes, this one takes place in a department store, a furniture store, where one of the kids' father owns it. They decide they're going to stay the night, and there is a killer in the department store with them. And one by one, like any slasher movie, they're stalked and they are slashed. Is it one of the top 10 favorite slasher movies? No, it's probably not even top 20, but I still love the movie. For again, 1988, 89. This is a great one, and if you've never seen it, check it out. Again, if you love gay-themed horror movies, this is there. And if you just love fun slasher movies, check out Hide and Go Shriek, a very forgotten slasher movie. And then we have a sequel from, I think, 1991, 1992. We are getting a Synapse release, which I'm super excited about it. But I believe Red Shirt Pictures, Michael Felcher's going to be releasing it. But Synapse is joining him, and they are releasing this movie. They're releasing all of the films on 4K. I don't know if the later movies are going to get Blu-rays, but I know the first two at least are going to get 4Ks. But I am talking about just this movie right now, and that is Prom Night 4, Deliver Us from Evil. This is a burn Blu-ray because until we get that release, this is what I watch. I have an old Artisan DVD release. It's something I will always keep just because I just remember buying that and wanting that in my collection. I was diving into horror movies, really kind of not new at watching horror movies, but I was building my collection, and I remember this was one of those movies that I wanted in the collection, or these movies. I wanted these movies in the collection. And so I remember buying the DVD for $5. It was a double feature of 3 and 4. Similar artwork here. And the one thing about that DVD, especially with part 3, is they cut out of, just a quick moment in the movie. So, not the greatest DVD. The transfers aren't great. If you're wanting the, full uncut, versions of the films, this is the way to watch Prom Night 3 and Prom Night 4. But again, we are getting an official release. And so once that gets here, this will probably be leaving the shelf unless I put it away somewhere. But going to Prom Night 4, Deliver Us from Evil, this is, in my opinion, the second best one. And I know it's going to be blasphemy when I say this. Prom Night 1 is my favorite. Prom Night 4 is my second favorite. Prom Night 2, Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2, is a very close third. And then I would say the remake in 3, because I'm not a big fan of 3. I tried watching it. I do want to own it, of course, because I'm a completist. But, it's not the worst thing. It's not my favorite thing. But going back to 4, I love it because this was going back to just a true slasher movie where, 2 was more, it was a slasher movie, but it was a possession movie and a lot of other things, very supernatural. 3 was a continuation of Prom Night 2 with the character Hello Mary Lou coming back. But 4 went back to the basic slasher, and I love Prom Night 4. It's about a group of teenagers. Of course, it's prom night, and instead of going to their senior prom, they decide to stay at the main guy's, kind of vacation home and celebrate prom night that night. And what they don't know is that there is an evil priest out there, and he is going to kill anybody that he considers to be a sinner. So, love Prom Night 4. Again, I've said it several times. It's such a great movie that no one talks about. I mean, until, this announcement happened with, Synapse and Red Shirt Pictures releasing these movies, no one talked about them. I was just over the moon happy when I found out that they were releasing these movies, because I think all the prom nights, the first 4 prom nights, deserve some love. I think especially the sequels deserve some love. Again, not the biggest fan of 3. It's not an unwatchable movie, so of course I'll own it. But to get the treatment that these are going to get, I'm just so excited for it. I cannot wait. And so yeah, right now this is a burn, but I am looking forward to picking up an actual copy of these movies, especially Prom Night 4. I think out of all the Prom Night movies, this is the one that doesn't get enough talk. We have Prom Night and Prom Night 2, which are classics. You have 3, which is, sort of gets talk. It's not like super popular, but, people talk about it. The remake gets talk, but I think 4 just kind of fell under the radar completely. I love 4. You should check this movie out. And by the way, I think, these movies are streaming. So if you can't pick up the physical copies of these movies, check them out on streaming. Tubi, I'm not sure if they're all on Tubi, but Tubi is awesome for watching free movies, but also watching obscure horror movies. Like, I love going on there and just checking out so many great ones. Movies that I haven't seen in a long time that, I'm debating if I want to pick them up. But I watch a lot of first-time movies and a lot of 80s and 90s horror movies that I had never seen before. And I love watching Tubi. Another remake that I love on there that has yet to get a physical release, I feel like it's kind of forgotten now, is the Terror Train remake. I think that is a great remake. I was very skeptical walking into that movie or sitting down to watch that movie, and I love it. I think it is awesome. It's a shame that is kind of lost in the, world of films, and I don't hear anybody talk about that movie. I would love to own a physical copy of that movie, added with the original Terror Train, which is kind of obscure. Again, not many people talk about it, but that remake I love. So anyway, Tubi, awesome place. I'm not sponsoring Tubi, I'm just recommending. It's a free streaming service, and you can watch some really awesome obscure movies, especially horror movies. So the last movie I'm going to talk about is a 1978 or 79, almost forgotten slasher movie. And again, when we talk about, slasher movies, this one doesn't get a lot of talk. It has its fans out there, but do I hear everyday conversations about this movie, or when horror movies are brought up, is this one that gets brought up a lot? In my opinion, no. But the movie I'm talking about is Tourist Trap from, again, the late 70s. If you've seen House of Wax from 2005, love that movie. That is a movie that is pretty much a remake to this. I know they use the name House of Wax, but Tourist Trap is pretty much the original movie. It is about a group of friends. Their car breaks down, and they decide to, stop by this museum. I think it's a museum. Yeah, like a wax museum or a museum that is owned by the main guy in the movie. I'm forgetting his name. And you think everything's okay at first, but then just weird things start happening. Like the mannequins start coming to life. There is a killer roaming this area. And one by one, some of the characters are turned into mannequins. And I think this is a great one. I love it. It has the late Tanya Roberts, early role for Tanya Roberts before she ever did A View to a Kill. She's great in this movie. It's a very eerie slasher movie. There's a couple times like it's almost hard to watch. It's not like, super disturbing, but there's a scene where there's a character, she's strapped to a table and is literally being turned into a mannequin, and plasters on her face as she's alive and talking and breathing. And that's an eerie scene in this movie. It kind of lingers too. It doesn't just, quick, scene, let's go on to the next. It takes a while for this to, this scene to end. But I love Tourist Trap. One of the best. Again, doesn't get enough talk. There are fans out there. But if you've never seen Tourist Trap, pick it up. I say it's worth owning on Blu-ray. And I absolutely love this movie. So that is 5 obscure or almost forgotten slasher movies, mostly from the 80s. But there is one from the 90s, which is Prom Night 4. I want to continue on with this. I, have so many other slasher movies that I could talk about that are almost forgotten or obscure. And also just horror movies in general. So maybe I'll do a zombie segment. Maybe I'll do a haunted house segment. Or just in general talk about forgotten 80s and even 90s horror movies. So 70s too. There's some great ones in the 70s. But yes, check them all out. If you can't pick up the physical releases, I'm sure these are streaming somewhere. Again, check out Tubi. That is a great place to watch a lot of these obscure horror movies. And I'm looking forward to the Prom Night movies finally getting proper treatments and first time Blu-ray or 4K releases. So check out these forgotten slashers, these forgotten horror movies. And I hope you enjoyed this video. So as always, y'all are awesome, y'all rock. In with the positive, out with the negative. And much love to you all. And remember to always be yourself, because you are amazing and you are beautiful. And I'll talk to you later.